Lido. You can play on the sand, go paddle. There'll be ice cream, other kids to play with. Chiara Vecchi was a large and bustling woman who'd once worked for us as a weaver, then later, after my mother left, became an essential helpmate, fetching, cooking, ferrying me to school when no one else was around. I don't want you to die. Ever. Grandpa closed the book. You're too tired for this. No, I want a story. Another one. He bent down, kissed my forehead, and ran his fingers through my hair. All in good time, little boy. His genial face clouded over with an expression even a child like me could read. Doubt, and perhaps regret. Though whether you'll thank me for the one I have in mind... Before I could say another word, he bent down and kissed me again. Then he went to the end of the bed, turned on the TV, and flicked through the channels until he found a cartoon. June 1999. I was now a nervous, gangly 15-year-old, walking into a private room in the hospital of Giovanni e Paolo. It was my turn to sit by the bed. I so wanted to be elsewhere. On the beach, at the Lido, listening to music, trying to keep up with my peers. Chasing girls if I could only work out how. My father was so good at that. He didn't seem to have passed on the talent. More likely, I'd be out with my cameras somewhere, taking pictures of the wild marshes by Uccello or the dunes of San Nicolo. Photography was my one hobby, an obsession almost. Grandpa had set me up with an account at the camera shop near San Giacomo dell'Orio. They loved me, since I spent a fortune there on SLR bodies, lenses, film and developing. Not a cent of it, down to me, of course. All the walls were white. The corridors rang to echoing footsteps and quiet voices. The place reeked of an antiseptic medical smell that caught the back of my throat. Or perhaps that was just fear. On one side of the room, 2 long windows looked out over Fondamenti Nove and the lagoon. The placid water shone, swimming in the kind of heat you never normally got till late July. Heavy, humid, tiring, filled with buzzing, biting insects. The moment I entered, head down, visibly unenthusiastic, I imagine, Nonno Paolo gestured at a chair beside the bed. I had never seen him so frail. That alone, I was a child still, even if I didn't know it, made me want to run from this brightly lit cell, with its chemical stink and the insistent rhythmic whir of the fan in the ceiling. It was hard to imagine a world without him, and being the child I was, anything hard was to be avoided. To tell the truth, I couldn't begin to understand how the Uccello could possibly live without him, overseeing the daily running of our palazzo and the small male household it contained. He was our rock, a fixture I assumed would always be there. Except soon, they all said, my father, the nurses, the doctors, and Paolo Uccello, the patriarch of one of Venice's most famous fabric houses, would be gone. I gather, he said, his voice frail but not without authority. There's been trouble at school. The truth was, I'd barely been a part of it. My sin was one of omission. I'd been suspended for a week, along with Maurizio Scamozzi, the ringleader, and 2 other boys. It wasn't the first time Scamozzi had got us into trouble, and frankly, it was mostly a mix of curiosity and fear that made me go along with some of his stunts. Getting kicked out of school even temporarily was new, though. Sorry, was all I could manage. What happened? A boy had been bullied. I'd been there, watching, not taking part, not intervening either. I know I should be punished, I said. 1 week's suspension. No matter. He swept the air with his right hand.